Hello everyone! I am Alice of KHR Arts and Cloud Orchid Publishing, and today we are going to talk about my next poetry collection, Synesthesia River Coins. So this is going to be my 8th poetry collection in the Synesthesia series. So all of my previously published poetry collections are all synesthesia. And this is because I personally have synesthesia. So we have like synesthesia experimental, synesthesia love, nature, darkness. Each one tells you the experience you're going to have reading that particular book. So River Coins is a little bit more abstract. So basically the idea is going to be the coins that you place on a dead man's eyes as payment for the boatman on the river Styx. So a lot of these poems are going to deal with like the idea of death and mysticism and kind of dark themes and things around the idea of the afterlife, of the void, of just kind of those in-between spaces, just all of that sort of vibe. I've been writing a lot of new poetry that really has this central theme, as well as I have poems that are currently not published that I feel will fit this theme. So I've been kind of creating and curating this collection behind the scenes, and I am really hoping to be able to bring all of this together on my work table and get this project in front of Brian soon. For those of y'all that don't know, Brian and I are the co-editors of Cloud Orchid Publishing, which is our publishing house that all of these poetry collections are published under. And these are a collaborative effort where it combines my poetry and Brian's photography. Some of them also are combinations of my poetry and my artwork, or even Brian's artwork. Once I get all of the poetry curated and put together, we'll see what inspires Brian and what he might want to bring to the table for the collaboration. Or I might put together an art collection to go with the poetry collection. We'll just have to see where things are at when we get to that step of the game. But I am really excited and wanted to put out this update about this particular poetry collection because it has been a while since my last published poetry collection. The most recent poetry collections that were published were Synesthesia Fables and Synesthesia Pandemic. These were published during the pandemic, and we have not released a new poetry collection since then. I've been super busy with other books and other projects, and poetry is an art form for me personally that cannot be rushed. It is a thing that I have to be in the zone, and it just has to happen for me. So unfortunately, my poetry is a slow-paced thing. And the reason why we were able to just boom, 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 publish so many poetry collections over the years is because I had such a massive backlog of poetry. I officially am at the point where I've written over 500 poems. So the fact that over the years I've just had that many just kind of hanging out is how we were able to publish so many collections, whereas now I'm at the point where there are fewer and fewer unpublished poems that I want to use, and I'm having to write more and more stuff for a specific collection, as well as just writing poetry as it happens for potential use later on for other collections that may come to fruition. And how I decide on these themes is that I basically get enough poems together where I start to like see themes coming through different poems, and once I have enough poems together that fit a certain theme, then that's when a theme is born. So for instance, synesthesia, nature, that was, I noticed that I went through this time period where I had a lot of haikus and poems that just seemed very fanciful and like about nature and like flowers and trees and being outside and experiencing nature. And so once I had enough poems together that all fit that theme, that's when that collection was born. So it's poems happen first, and then theme happens second. So it's the theme doesn't materialize until I start to see a pattern with particular poems that I'm like, okay, these all kind of go together in this theme. So we're going to make this be a theme, and then we're going to like make some new content specifically for that theme to bolster this all together and make a collection. And so that's what I've been seeing for the past few years that I've been writing new poetry, is that it has really fallen under this vibe of river coins. So that is going to be the new theme for this poetry collection. I'm really excited for it, y'all, and I hope you're excited for it too. So stay tuned on updates for this particular project, and I can't wait for down the line when we have the big release. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to give it a like. And if you're new, subscribe. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.